Hey, it's Tpok. Back in Leaves, and it's been a while. Not gonna lie, the last part of this was very disturbing, and kinda made me not want to play it, because I was scared it was going to continue. But hey, might as well finish it. I said between gasps, what the hell were you thinking? I was still lying on top of her, totally spent. I'd offered to get off, but she just brought her arms up to hold me close, and that was that. We were both breathing raggedly. That was the only sound in the entire apartment. But she responded, I didn't want you to leave me. I don't want you to go. And then she gave me a little squeeze with her arms to drive the point home. When she saw the expression on my face, she let out a little giggle. Then she went on, come on, Tomohiro. If you're really worried about that, how come you don't use a condom, huh? Just FYI, today isn't a safe day for me. I gasped. You idiot, are you serious? She giggled again. Well, looky here, she exclaimed. You don't even know something so simple as your woman's menses. Suddenly she was back to her usual sassy self. You know, this is what I love about sex. You can't think. You've got no time for masks. It's just you and her. It's really hard to lie to yourself or to your girl when all your blood's down where your penis is. That's why I love sex. That's why I hate it. Men, sees, I'm under, oh, your period, right? Never even crossed my mind, actually. Tuka's eyes opened wide. What? Now isn't that irresponsible? What if I get pregnant? That's why I usually use condoms, yeah, I answered. Yeah, I know, not much of an answer. But you went bareback today, she retorted. Oh, for crying out loud, I fired back. Do you generally stop to put on a condom when you're busy raping someone? For crying out loud, you're the one that made me come inside you anyhow. Oh yeah, I remember that. Tuka looked at me doubtfully. Then she said, I don't know if you know this, but you do realize that a girl can get pregnant anyway, whether you come inside her or not, if you're not using protection. I groaned. I'll quit it with that lecture. Fine, make it my fault. Sorry. I got up off her. Then I took a tissue, wiped my still soggy dick off, wadded the paper up, and tossed it into the trash can. Or rather, it was a rim shot. Your fault. Tuka mouthed behind me as if she were deep in thought. She just stared up at me from the floor, still completely naked. Her thighs were sticky with the juices in my cum. Every so often, a bit of white fluid trickled from her slit. She didn't seem to mind or care one bit. In fact, given the look on her face, she seemed to be enjoying this. So she continued to stare up at me. And now that I looked closely, now that the sex-induced haze was all past, she looked disgustingly down there. That's why I really hate sex sometimes. You said, Tuka mused, that it was your fault, right? Then give me a proper apology, What do you mean a proper apology? I retorted half-heartedly. She giggled. Oh, come on, a full honest apology from the bottom of your heart, darling, nothing special. Honest apology from the bottom of my heart. What the hell, man? As if that would make anything better. As if I had any idea when I was being honest and when I wasn't to begin with. And for crying out loud, what does it mean to be honest in the first place? Because we all live with a certain despicable kind of honesty for every second of our lives, constantly making relative value judgments within the little quiet moments where nothing means anything. Was that the kind of honesty she wanted? Because there was no other kind. There's no such thing as an absolute eternal truth on this earth or in heaven. Although maybe one exists in hell. Fine, I'm very sorry. Whatever, I was being honest to begin with anyhow. Tpok held my gaze for a moment, and then she nodded. I don't know what she was looking for. Maybe she was trying to discern what I really felt. Maybe it didn't matter. Apology accepted, she murmured. Our bickering came to an end just like that. Because Tpok was the kind of girl who asked very little, who'd gratefully accept whatever small reassurance you gave her. Let's... Oh, clear up this broken glass, I said to her. Oh, yeah, she nodded. Real sorry about that. Just make sure you don't cut yourself, okay, dear? For all she wanted was some miserable guarantee that it was okay for her to be with me. Like, I love you, or I can't live without you, or let's stay together forever, something like that. Things a lover said to each other every day without knowing what the hell they were talking about. A sharp pain ran through my heart. Maybe it was because I was tired of this. But more likely it was because I was envious of the senseless act of self-slaughter that allowed her to live on the strength of an empty promise. Well, she said cheerfully, what's a little more of a mess? This place is already so messy anyhow, haha. Couldn't be like her, not this way. Then what was I supposed to do? Where was my happiness to be found? I didn't know. Then I was grasped by an unshakable fear. The people who spend all their lives questioning the nature of reality, on their deathbeds, realize much too late that actually, this reality is all they ever had. And in a similar vein, do people who spend all of their lives questioning the nature of happiness on their deathbeds realize too late that they squandered every single opportunity they ever had for a real and lasting happiness on this earth? Maybe this was one truth after all. Maybe I would never find any happiness ever in my lifetime. That's depressing. I felt Tpok watching me from her vantage point in bed as I downed a chuhi. Didn't even bother to turn to face her. Instead, I asked dryly, "Having fun?" A smile came to my face when I heard her jump, and then heard her hurriedly rearranging herself, as if she'd ended up in some weird contorted position. Having fun?" she stammered. "Whatever are you talking about?" Watching me, she whistled. Then, "Whoa, how did you know I was doing that? Did I say something? Or how did I tip you off?" When I turned to face her, I wasn't surprised to see this embarrassed, bashful look filling her face. And I just a stab in the dark, didn't really suspect anything, just wanted to see how you'd react, I chuckled. She giggled. "So that's it. I should have known. You don't have superpowers or anything after all." "You got it," I replied. Of course I was lying. I don't know whether it was natural or practiced or whatever, but I always knew when someone had his eyes on me. It was pretty easy for me to figure out where the attack was going to come from and when. That was why I rarely, if ever, looked anyone in the eye anymore. Superpowers. Oh, I mused. Now there was an interesting thought for you. When I was I wondered that I'd stop being able to look people in the eye. Back when I was a kid, I used to be so into staring at other people that adults had to always remind me how rude it was. I was fascinated. It seemed to me that everyone walking in the world had something unique to him, some skill that I didn't have, some mannerism that could never be mine. So yeah, I used to love watching people, but for the life of me I couldn't remember when I stopped doing stuff like that, or why. Maybe it was because I started getting self-conscious about staring at other people like that. Maybe it was because I realized there was no point in studying other people like that. Maybe it was for one of those two reasons, or maybe some combination thereof, but I couldn't say with 100% certainty. I just didn't know. But I did know one thing, that now I would consider anyone who stared at other people like that to be a very rude and very unenlightened individual. Well, Tpok broke the silence again. You know, maybe I better talk about it after all. She sat up in bed, then adjusted her posture a bit. I replied with a non-committal, What do you mean by it? Maybe it was a hunch. Maybe it was a premonition. I knew this conversation couldn't turn out well. But I didn't know what to do except to listen. She gave me a strange look and then said, "You know, remember yesterday? I was telling you that I made 300 yen? 3,000 yen? You know about that?" "Okay," I said with a shrug. "I slept with a girl yesterday," she finished. I was dumbstruck. She chuckled at this. Yes, sir, yes I did." And an awkward "what" was all I could manage. I mean, what the hell? So, what, was she bisexual then? I felt a sinking feeling in my stomach. I mean, yeah, it's true, these days, it's not so rare for people to be bisexual, I suppose, but still. So the girl who was my best friend and my girlfriend, and who I slept with all the time, was bisexual. Sorry, but somehow this came as a complete betrayal. What? My mind was running wild. I felt like the floor was crumbling away under my feet. I had no other options, so I barked in angry, "Why'd you go and do that?" "Why? I don't know why you're mad." Tpok mused. "It was about, noon yesterday. I was walking around town looking for a customer, just like usual. Then someone called out to me as I passed by." I shrugged. "And what did that someone say?" Let me see. Something like, 'Would I be okay?' If I remember correctly," Tpok said, furrowing her eyebrows a bit. "Would I be okay?" I snorted, as in, "Do you sleep with women as well?" "Apparently so. Tpok replied. "Oh, come on, Tpok, don't you about this." Tpok said when she saw the complicated expression on my face. "Just in case you're wondering, I'm not a lesbian, okay?" "Wish I could believe you," I retorted. What the hell, man?" Tpok flared up. "What are you trying to say, huh? I'm telling you the truth. It's just that this was an exceptional case, okay?" Tpok protested as she leaned forward. "Don't go around making every case exceptional then," I muttered darkly. "No, well," she went on. "Okay, so maybe I was a little interested. But only a tiny bit. And nothing serious, so okay? There was something a little different about this girl. That's all. So I, didn't really think about what was happening and, just kinda went along with the flow, got drawn in, you know? Right? Don't you just get swept up like that sometimes?" "No," I snorted in response. "Oh, come on," she said with a wince. "Just work with me here, okay? 'Cause I'm kind of regretting the whole thing now, see? Really. Never should have gone there, I swear." But now she'd said something she'd said piqued my interest. Fine, whatever. I'll take your word for it. But you said a moment ago there was something different about this girl. What was it? Is this the girl that looks like Tomohiro? Tpok stared at the pillow for a moment, lost in thought. "Her eyes, I think," she said after a moment. "Her eyes?" I shot back. "Yeah. There was something about them." "Oh, it was me." "Well, it reminded me of you." "What?" No, I was completely lost. "Reminded you of me?" Yep, she replied almost cheerfully. She'd nodded a bunch of times, too. The way she'd said this, it was almost as if she was trying to tell me that it was my fault she turned into a lesbian. Man, go figure. "What the hell, man?" I said after a while. "Don't give me an excuse like that. There must be millions of people in Japan who have eyes like mine. In fact, there are probably thousands just in this city alone. So don't try to make your bisexual leanings my fault, okay?" She retorted. Come on, I asked you to work with me here, remember? "I swear, I'm going somewhere with this." "Yeah," I snorted. by work with me, you mean for me to swallow one monstrous lie after another. I'll opt out, thanks. That's harsh, Tomohiro. Anyway, I went on, ignoring her comment. 3,000 yen. Then what? Tuka muttered. Okay, so I hadn't really thought about a price, so I agreed to whatever she offered. And it was fine, really. She sounded so hesitant, as if she really wanted to tell me everything, but something was stopping her. It was, she continued, fine. Didn't have to press her very hard in order to get her talking again. She stammered bashfully now. It felt pretty good to have her do stuff to me, so... My most heartfelt congratulations, then, I snapped. She made a face. Hold it right there. What's that supposed to mean, huh? Congratulations on coming out of the closet, obviously, I replied sarcastically. Congratulations on joining the LGBT community. Whoa, that's scary. You've got it all wrong, Tuka shouted back. That's not how it is. Lesbo, I crowed. Dirty lesbo. Stop that. Why do you have to be this way? She snapped. I sighed. Okay, fine. I'm done. I understand. You're lying, she proclaimed. You don't understand a thing. You're totally convinced I'm a lesbian. I gave her an empty smile. Look, if you're a lesbian, that's me. That's fine with me. But maybe this is for, well, I don't really get why you've chosen this path, but hey, I won't try to stop you. Oh, for crying out loud, she shot back. She jumped off the bed and hugged me with all the strength she had. Then she cried out, I love you. I kissed her on the cheek. But I said quietly, I know. I'm just teasing you. So don't get so mad, okay? You're impossible, Tuka replied with more than a little annoyance. I shrugged. Anyway, I understand, so why not have a drink or two? We've only got beer and chuhi here, I think, but hey. Not beer, she said. That stuff's too bitter for me. Right, I remember, I replied. Tuka went to the refrigerator, got herself a grape chuhi, and sat across from me. She pulled the tab off the can. There was the hissing sound of escaping gas. She took a swig, then burst out laughing. She was really cracking up, actually. What the hell, I remarked to her. I don't like the sound of that laugh. But she couldn't stop laughing. Oh no. Remember when you were drinking this stuff a while ago? You were making all sorts of happy gulping noises and oohing and ahhing about how refreshing it was. Welcome to the ranks of old geezers, eh, Tomohiro? You've got to be kidding me, I said dryly. Nah, sorry, it's true. She giggled. It was exactly like watching an old man enjoying a drink after he gets out of the bath. And on top of that, chuhi, not beer. Man, that was so funny I couldn't help but laugh. I never knew. Man, not good, I muttered. Tuka chattered on. And you know what? When I saw that, all I could think was, wow, Tomohiro's really stretching it. Stretching what? I shot back. You know, she replied with a wave of the hand. Acting all adult-like and such. Pot calling the kettle black, I snorted back. But Tuka apparently took exception to this, given how she was shaking her head. Well, come on, I don't act all adult-like, she protested, but that doesn't mean I'm a kid either, that's all. Then what are you? I asked. Her reply came immediately. I'm me, obviously. It's not a question of whether I'm adult or a kid. I'm me, and that's that. Okay, well, guys, I think I'm gonna end it here, so... yeah. Thanks for watching. And I will see you guys next time. Looks like everything's going well again. Hopefully no more rape. Hopefully more mystery along with my doppelganger that's a woman. So yeah, thanks for watching.